The LDS movement gets a lot of hate. Personally, as a tradcath, I find much of the Mormon doctrine to be false preaching. That said, we cannot ignore the incredible revolutionary movement that the Mormon Church's founder, Joseph Smith, built. Smith was no ordinary preacher. He was a prophet, a visionary, and above all, a revolutionary. He didn't just aim to build a church. He sought to construct a new society that fundamentally rejected the capitalist order of his day. From its inception, Mormonism was a radical challenge to the economic and political structures of early America. Smith preached socialism, economic redistribution, and an ironclad unity among his followers, qualities that any Marxist-Leninist would immediately recognize. The proto-Marxist commune of Nauvoo. When the LDS movement was pursued throughout the country, persecuted really, they finally settled in Nauvoo, Illinois. There, the prophet Joseph Smith, peace be upon him, began planning his revolution in earnest. He was staunchly opposed to the exploitative capitalist order of his time and sought something better. Under Smith's leadership, Nauvoo became a self-sufficient, semi-autonomous community, rejecting the bourgeois state apparatus and forging its own path. Land was distributed based on communal needs rather than private profit. The city was run with a strong, central authority, ensuring unity, discipline, and ideological purity. Nauvoo and the Mormon settlements that came before it could accurately be described as Marxist-Leninist in practice, or Stalinist, if we must use revisionist parlance. Strong, charismatic, beloved leader? Check. A widely held revolutionary ideology and mass culture? Check. The repression of counter-revolutionary activity? Check. But a state is nothing without force, and Smith understood this well. Like what you've heard so far? Well, wait until you hear about the revolutionary army built by the prophet. The Nauvoo Legion was, at its zenith, the largest state militia in the entire country, with roughly 2,500 armed, disciplined soldiers. This was no mere defensive force. It was a revolutionary vanguard, a hammer forged to break the chains of oppression. Smith openly challenged U.S. authority by arming his people and organizing a parallel military structure. The Legion operated independently, taking direct orders from the prophet himself, an unmistakable dictatorship of the proletariat in embryo. Their mission? To build a Mormon nation, free from capitalist exploitation, where the righteous would rule and the enemies of the people would be crushed. The LDS were poised to instigate an armed insurrection that would take on the U.S. government. Sound familiar? Why, yes, the Legion was planning its own Mormon October Revolution. Smith explicitly rejected American democracy as corrupt and illegitimate. Instead, he proposed replacing it with a theo-democracy, a system with an undeniable resemblance to a Marxist-Leninist state, a one-party system guided by divine wisdom? Check. A revolutionary leader embodying the will of the people? Check. A planned economy ensuring communal prosperity? Check. And we can all agree, that sounds pretty tight. Sadly, history took a different turn. The bourgeois forces of reaction, fearing Smith's growing power, resorted to their oldest trick: slander and lies. A counter-revolutionary newspaper accused him of fraud and tyranny. Faced with increased public scrutiny, Smith did the honorable thing. He declared martial law, shut down the paper, and had a loyalist mob destroy its printing press. As we all know, the bourgeois lie of press freedom is one at which all MAGA monarcho-communists must scoff. But Smith's reactionary rivals didn't see it that way. They arrested him on bogus charges, imprisoning the prophet in Carthage jail. And in a scene straight from the annals of counter-revolutionary terror, a violent mob stormed the jail and murdered him in cold blood. The violence endured by the LDS was nothing short of a white terror, the fall of the Mormon Revolution. With Smith's death, the revolution was lost. The pilgrimage west toward Utah blunted the revolutionary fervor. The fire of Nauvoo cooled into accommodationism as the LDS sought to negotiate rather than conquer. Brigham Young, The LDS's new leader was a revisionist and a cuck whose accommodationism meant working with the bourgeois U.S. government rather than overthrowing it. The revolutionary dream of a Mormon socialist society faded into memory, but the struggle continues. Today's Marxist-Leninists can look to the lessons of the Mormon experience in the 19th century for inspiration. Smith's vision was cut short, but history will not forget. One day it will come to pass that a strong, communist, Smithian leader who commands our sincere devotion will rise again, and this time we will not fail.